The time has come. The field of 68 for the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments is set. 31 teams automatically punch their ticket to the big dance by winning their respective conference tournaments in these last 2 weeks. And that being said, let's see what area teams and players will be competing in the postseason. Starting off in the West region, the Kansas Jayhawks and AJ Storr will be dancing. They will take on Arkansas, who is the 10 seed. That will be at 6 p.m. Thursday. That'll actually be here on WIFR. Storr transferred from Kansas to Wisconsin, or to Kansas, I should say, from Wisconsin. They were in the tourney in 2024 and were upset by James Madison in the first round in that 12-5 upset. In the Midwest, a lot of local stuff here. McNeese State, they're the number 12 seed with Rockford East graduate Sincere Parker. They get the 12 seed. They're going to draw Clemson as the 5 seed. The Cowboys won their second straight Southland Conference tournament title to get here. Parker's averaging more than 12 points a game in his junior season. Then it is a battle of the Cougars also in the Midwest region. SIUE earns the automatic bid after beating SEMO for the first Ohio Valley Conference title. They will play Thursday against Houston, who is the top seed in the Midwest region. And finally in the Midwest, the Fighting Illini, the number 6 seed, they are going to take on the number 11 seed. It'll either be Texas or Xavier. That'll be a first 4 game that'll happen earlier or in a couple of days. Going up to the East region, the number 3 Wisconsin Badgers, they fell in the Big Ten championship earlier on Sunday to Michigan, but they get the 3 seed. They're going to take on Montana in the East region. That is going to be Thursday afternoon. And in the South region, number 7 Marquette, they will take on the New Mexico Lobos, who are the 10 seed. And Shaka Smart has taken the Golden Eagles to the tournament in each of his first 4 years. They will play on Friday. And on the women's side, Sycamore grad Kylie Feuerbach and the Iowa Hawkeyes are going to be dancing. They got the number 6 seed. They're going to take on Murray State. That time is still to be determined, but they're going to be going to Oklahoma to play their game. And the Fighting Illini are the 8th seed. They get Creighton, who's the number 9 seed. That is in the Birmingham Regional.